Looks like some money might be coming in for Manchester United, and some much needed money, because after Mbeumo we need to sign a striker, a midfielder, arguably a wingback, and arguably a goalkeeper. But considering Man United can't even do more than one deal at a time right now, and not much is happening with the outs, it seems pretty hard. But we've got a big boost in regards to money coming in regards to pure profit money coming in, and no, it's not from selling our own players. It's from sell-on clauses. We're going to talk about how much money we could make and how much we could spend from these sell-on clauses. Newcastle, they'd bid for Elanga, Alvaro to Madrid, Maxi Olidelli on the way out as well. Of Warsaw, he's got a sell-on clause. We're going to talk about that. But one of our players could be on the move, Marcus Rashford. He's open to a move that is not Barcelona. We thought it was Barcelona, only Barcelona. He is open to Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich have interest, and a lot of the players that Bayern Munich want, Nico Williams, well, he's probably going to go to Barcelona. Luis Diaz, that looks like a very difficult deal to do with Liverpool. It could open the door for a Marcus Rashford exit. Obviously, Garnacho, we're going to talk about the latest on his exit, Chelsea, Villa, and Napoli interest. We're going to go on a little bit of a rant about the fact that we could literally be going into pre-season with one more player. Now, I will say there's been about 10 different stories on Mbeumo today. And the 10 different stories we've had on Mbeumo today is that the deal is close, a bid could go in, anytime soon. I've decided not to talk about Mbeumo, not to read out the 10 different stories on Mbeumo, because they're the same nonsense that we've been told for ages, and I'm done with it. Until we know that that bid has gone in, until something major's happened, I'm going to shut up about Mbeumo because I'm fed up. We're going to talk about midfielders wanted. We're going to talk about how United could be getting Richard Rios through Elanga and Alvaro money that could fund the centre mid signing that we need. And we will talk about the latest on Sancho's exit. We know Juventus cannot cover his salary, but Sancho wants to move. Could he come to a compromise? So, hello, and welcome back to Alice Talks Football, and welcome back to your late night roundup. I do apologise for not doing a 5 p.m. live stream, but there wasn't a lot of news today, and I thought I'll just wait till the evening, see what else comes out, and we can then do a late night roundup show where you get all your news rounded up in 10 minutes. So, let's get on with it. So, pure profit could be coming in for Manchester United, not through selling our players, but through other players. Newcastle put in a 55 million bid to Nottingham Forest for Elanga. Nottingham Forest want to do a deal for 60 million. Could be 55 plus 5. Maybe a deal gets done for 60 million. Negotiations are underway, and Newcastle are pushing to get the Elanga deal done. I expect some movement soon. Fabrizio Romano's also retweeted this tweet 2 hours later, an hour later as well. Now, why is this significant? Well, Man United sources say that Manchester United have a sell-on clause for Elanga, which is around 20%, so we could be getting 8 million. Craig Hope is suggesting that Manchester United have a 15% sell-on clause, which would mean about 7 million of any profit. So let's just say we make 8 million pure profit. That could allow us to buy a player that costs £32 million and pay it over 4 years. £32 million paid over 4 years, which means Richard Rios we could buy. A midfielder. We can't afford Ederson. He's the alternative to Ederson. We want a midfielder. Every reliable outlet said Ruben Amorim wants a midfielder. Well, Richard Rios is there. The money we get from Elanga, because we said we can afford Mbeumo and we can afford Cunha without sales, but anything else needs sales. Okay, well, why don't we look at selling our own players, Anthony Sancho, getting them out to fund a striker? But maybe the sell-on clauses from Elanga could fund Dumfries, 21 million. Richard Rios, 25 million. That could fund that. But it's not just that. 8 million for Elanga, 7.2 million for Alvaro, who's going to join Madrid after the Club World Cup if all goes to plan. Yeah. But then also Maxi Olidelli, is that how you say his name? The player we sent over to Poland for a really cheap fee. He's got a €6 million release clause. I think we get 20% of that. That's another million, a million and a half in the bank. We're talking about potentially making 16 million in pure profit. Not through selling our own players, because we can't do that. It's a disgrace. It's an absolute disgrace that Ruben Amorim is going to be going on pre-season tour, potentially with Rashford, Garnacho, Anthony Sancho. That is disgraceful. You just got to laugh. It's disgraceful. But £16 million pure profit. Okay? As I've said, if you buy a player for 64 million and you split the cost of the 64 million over 4 years, that's 16 million a year, taking into account wages and all of that as well, obviously, So that would cover maybe Mbeumo, not with Brentford's asking price, but, that could cover a striker signing, that could cover Ollie Watkins. But, You're talking about the money we get from Alvaro, Maxi Holiday, and Elanga. Okay, we get them. Let's say we get Boomer wrapped up tomorrow. Okay, we've got Cunha. Let's say we've got Boomer wrapped up tomorrow, and all of these players get sold, and we make 16 million from their sell-on clauses. Well, we might as well use that 16 million and get Richard Rios and get Dumfries, because we could spend up to 64 million if we split it across 4 years. And Richard Rios and Dumfries, we're talking 46 million. Might as well do it. And the others can, the cost cuts can cover the wages. The leftover can cover the wages. These could allow us to sign a midfielder. This pure profit coming in can cover a new centre mid signing, could cover Dumfries. Not that United will do it. Do I think United will do this? No. Because United is stupid. We can't work on more than one deal at a time. Oh, Mbumo dragging on. Okay, when Mbumo's dragging on, cool. We'll go and do some work on Dumfries. Go and enter talks with Dumfries. Go and enter talk with Richard Rios. I mean, Brentford are in a stronger position because they know we're only working on Mbumo. Go work on some other deals. Oh, we can't. Do we sell anyone? Oh, no wonder we can't sell anyone, because everyone knows we're going to get desperate and lower the price. Oh. Yeah, I know. So, yeah. For me, these pure profit sales could cover a midfielder, and we want a midfielder. Now, obviously, one player that we feel like could be going out on loan, but ideally, hopefully, we can get a pure profit sale from is Marcus Rashford, because Barcelona are only going to bother loaning Rashford unless Nico Williams falls through and they get desperate, which I don't think will happen. Barcelona are broke, and look, they're willing. They might pay up for Dumfries, they might pay up for Nico Williams. If they really want a Rashford, they'd probably pay up by now, considering it's quite an easy deal to do. 40 million clause. Rashford open to taking a wage cut. Ben Jacobs is saying that Rashford is open to a bid from Bayern Munich. Ben Jacobs was on the United Stand today. He said quite a lot of stuff on the United Stand about a lot of transfers and a lot of details. So definitely go check out the United Stand interview with Ben Jacobs. There's a lot of things on there about. But one of the things he suggested is, okay, yes, he wants Barcelona. That's the dream, but he is open to Bayern, and that's good. Because although he's not number one on Bayern's list or number two, Nico Williams probably not going to go to Bayern. And then you also look at, Diaz being particularly difficult. He's there. Barcola's also on Bayern's list, which is costly. If you're Bayern Munich and you've lost Leroy Sané, that's on big wages, you actually think like-for-like Sané replacement, 40 million, could get him on a good value. He showed at Villa. He's still got it in his locker. Those Champions League games for Villa, he suits Bayern quite well. If I'm Bayern Munich, I go, you know what? Marcus Rashford's quite a simple deal to do. And you never know, if Bayern Munich start going in for Marcus Rashford, all of a sudden Barcelona might have money to do a permanent, not a loan. The problem we have is because Rashford's done all these interviews, it's a dream to play with Lamine Yamal, and Rashford's agent has made it so clear he wants Barcelona, it puts Bayern off. It puts Aston Villa off. That's the problem. Continuing on into the next story. So, Ben Jacobs also said in the United Stand that Manchester United, at this stage in the transfer window, is sticking to their valuation of 60 million for Garnacho. Chelsea and Aston Villa and Napoli have expressed interest and see it as too expensive. This kind of peed me off reading this. I just realised my screen isn't shared. This kind of peed me off reading this. This is what Ben Jacobs said on the United Stand today. Because Chelsea have just spent 55 million on Gittins. And because people don't watch Gittins and they just go off a bit of hype, they might think that Gittins is better than Garnacho, but if you watch Gittins, he's not better than Garnacho. That's not to say he won't be better than Garnacho, and that's not to say his ceiling isn't higher than Garnacho, and he's obviously got a better attitude than Garnacho. But as Gittins got one goal in the last 6 months, as of 2025, Gittins was not better than Garnacho, and I don't think Garnacho was anywhere near his best in 2025. So Chelsea have spent 55 million on Gittins that's literally scored one goal in 6 months and getting benched at Dortmund, which is, one, an easier league and a side that nearly everyone thrives in. They now think, we won't, Garnacho's not worth more than Gittins, which is ridiculous. If you look at Garnacho and his Premier League experience and his experience, you look at what Garnacho's done so far in his career compared to Gittins, the fact that they are the same age, the fact that Garnacho's done it in the Premier League, he is worth more than Gittins. The problem with Garnacho is his attitude brings him down. People who say Gittins is better than Garnacho didn't watch Gittins in 2025. Gittins is a better dribbler. Maybe he's naturally a better talent, but he's not better as of now. So I think it's crazy that Chelsea are going out and being like, we spent 55 million on Gittins, 60 million on João Pedro, and saying 60 million for Garnacho is too much. Do you know what? 2 months ago, 60 million for Garnacho, I think sounds like a really good deal. But when I'm seeing Elanga 55 million bid, Semenyo being 75, 80 million, Gittins going for 55 million, I think 60 million for Garnacho now is fair. The last 2 seasons, he's been in the top 3 for players aged 21 or under for goal contributions. Okay? Unlike Gittins, he didn't fall off when the new manager came in. He struggled the first 2 months under amorim, but showed improvement in March, April. Gittins struggled the first 2 months under a new manager and couldn't even show improvement in a different role. He's improved under amorim. To adapt. He's done it in the Man United environment. If you can do it in the Man United environment, you can do it anywhere. If you can do it at Dortmund, that doesn't mean you can do it anywhere. Look at Sancho, how he fell off. To succeed at Man United, that's the thing. Gittins, great talent, lack of attitude issues. But if you're paying 55 million for Gittins, you cannot tell us you won't pay 60 million for Garnacho when you made us pay 60 million for Mason Mount with 1 year left on his deal. And Mason Mount was on a lot higher wages than Garnacho. It's not even like Garnacho's on high wages, which makes it difficult. You might not like Garnacho. He needs to go. He hasn't got the best attitude. But if we were Manchester City, Chelsea would have bid 60 million for Garnacho by now. It'll be interesting to see how much Chelsea want for Madueke. Because Madueke is not better than Garnacho. It'll be interesting to see how much Chelsea want for Madueke. Because I tell you what, we need to hurry up the sales. The sales are a big problem. I'm not going to lie. I'm thinking, there's no way we can go back next week with Garnacho and Rashford returning when Amorim's made it clear he doesn't want them. It's a shit show. It's worrying. It's concerning. Yeah. But I want to get into the final stories. Obviously, reports from Italy saying that Sancho wants to go to Juventus, which we know. But if Sancho really wanted to go to Juventus, he'd take a wage cut. Take a wage cut. But I want to talk about midfielders because we need a midfielder. And if we make this money from Elanga and Alvaro, we can afford a midfielder. And Nathan Stott and Chris Wheeler have said, after Eriksen left United as a free agent, Amorim is in the market for another central midfielder to play alongside Casemiro and Garte Fernandez. It looks like Casemiro's going to stay. Maino's not mentioned. Maybe he's going to play further up. We need a midfielder. Richard Rios is available for reportedly 25 million after the Club World Cup. Go and do that. Go and do that if that's who you want. The problem is we get linked to all these midfielders. Do we want them? Are we planning to go for them? I don't know. Will we go for them? I don't know. But go and do that. Pure profit sales are set to be coming in. I think Newcastle will get Elanga. I think Alvaro will go to Madrid. Maxi's an easy deal to do. We could be making 16 million in pure profit. That could allow us to spend up to 64 million if we buy that player across 4 years. Go and do some business. Thank you for watching. Bye.